Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of Fries with Potate. Today we have a guest that you all asked for actually. One of the YouTubers, like early YouTubers.
Yeah, kind of, yeah.
One of the earlier YouTube channels that I used to watch growing up, and the way that I have expressed myself, like in many interviews, is like going up to people and be like, I wore this t-shirt for you, and then me and Raunaq decided to wear this.
We didn't decide and all, okay?
We just showed up wearing the same shirt. Like obviously it's from it's from his Fully Filmy, so it makes sense. Yeah. So ladies and gentlemen, Raunaq, the co-founder of Fully Filmy, a man with a lot of succinctly put opinions about cinema, and like you can tell like he loves movies by the work, the tweets that he puts out, or the videos that he puts out, or the whole t-shirt brand that he built. So just
Thank you. Yeah. T-shirt brand, okay, we'll change that, but yeah. The hope is to change it. Like I know, like that's what people call it. That's what people identify with it. So that's okay for now.
Are you looking to make it like a whole merchandising?
Yeah, that's the aim. Okay. We have our limitations and all, but yeah, we'll get to that. I can't make excuses. But now, if people are happy calling it t-shirt brand, that's okay. As long as you buy stuff.
Yes. So the first thing that I wanted to ask you is like, obviously you have like this great love for cinema, and like it comes out in your work, like you made a whole brand out of it.
It's my whole personality.
Yeah.
I don't know anything else.
Exactly. So my question is like, did this start from like way back in school? Because I think that you're like around the same age as my brother, and like back then the movie ticket prices were also a little bit cheaper.
It's not that much far ago, okay? You were there.
No, but like the movie ticket prices are like much more expensive.
That's there. So when I was in school, this was like 11th, so I hardly went to school. I was mostly at Abhirami Theatre or Riga Theatre. That time, our pocket money, I don't know if even we had pocket money. I used to borrow from my classmates and all of that. Little bit I used to get. 40 rupees one ticket.
People 40 rupees one ticket and all, you don't get pa.
No, you get with that PVR passport.
Oh, yeah.
Not promoting PVR, no, but just see.
He just be knowing.
Yeah. So ticket prices, yeah, that was a thing. But movies is like, see, when you're a kid, you don't know, oh, this is cinema and all of that, right? You're just told stories of how you used to react to things, in the sense, like my brother, my mom keeps telling me that when I used to be like 3-4 years old, I used to eat only when like a particular Rajni song was playing, right? And then I used to have like all these Rajni stickers on our room's bureau and all of that.
Wow,
bureau, I don't know if bureau is a word.
Bureau is a word.
Yeah. Cupboard, okay. Cupboard.
Bureau is a word, okay.
So that was a phase. Like I was like hardcore Rajni fan. Like Rajni fan, as a child, everyone likes Rajni. That was his peak era also, the early to mid 90s and everything, right? And then after that, so my mom and my dad used to work at a bank, which is like Reserve Bank of India. So obviously we used to get transferred a lot, right? So once my mom got transferred to Assam, like Guwahati in Assam.
Okay.
Right? So me and my sister had to go along with my mom. We couldn't do anything else. And of course, there was nothing we knew about the place. Once we got there, we didn't know Hindi at that time. In the sense like...
Or you're Assamese.
Yeah, or Assamese, yeah. So I didn't know how to communicate only. So there was a lot of loneliness. There was all the kids in the colony were like, maybe I was in 3rd or 4th, and they were in maybe 9th or so.
Okay.
So we used to play cricket and all of that, but I used to get bullied a lot. So a lot of time was spent at home with my sister just watching movies. And one thing that we used to get, like one thing we bonded over was my uncle, who used to be from Chennai, right? He used to go to Burma Bazaar at that time. You know Burma Bazaar?
Yeah.
So now I don't know if they still do all of that. Like, but he used to send like this box of 32 CDs like every few months, right? Every 4-5 months, this huge box, not even like 4-5, huge box of like every movie you can think of or you've not even heard of, like Jet Li, Bruce Lee, 2 Tamil movies and all of that. Like we watched Vijay's Kadalukku Maryadai was, I think we used to watch it every single day. Like every day after school, we used to come back and watch it. So it began from there. And then after that, we shifted to Bombay. In Bombay, I was in like 5th or 6th. And the CD still used to come, right? we couldn't go to movies and all. And of course, with friends, mom wouldn't allow me to go watch movies with friends. As a family, we used to go like once in 2 months, once in 3 months. And that time, tickets were tough to get.
Is it?
Yeah. So, do you remember Lagan?
Yeah.
When it came out?
Amir Khan film.
Yeah. We didn't get tickets for 3 months.
What?
Yeah. So now, I don't know. This is why I feel like sad about. Anyways, so at that time, we used to get tickets only after 3 months, and we used to go watch. But those VCDs were always there, right? So I thought at that time I was like 12 years old. So this is when I had my like first startup idea. Not really like a startup, but I used to literally I started like my own video library. So
Wow, your own OTT platform. This
not
is
like
the
straight VCD.
This is the second time someone's saying this,
Yeah.
bro.
Oh, hero talkies, right? So, see, they got like funding. They did like a proper thing. I was 12 years old. I used to have VCDs. I made like a printout of all the movies that we had, all the VCDs that we had, and I used to go to houses and like, you want this? Like you, like a kind of like a drug dealer.
Oh no way!
I think I charged like $5 or $10 or something like that. Then once people started buying frequently, I increased it to 20, 25. And then people stopped buying because there were a lot of like scratches on the VCDs and all of that, and then I had to stop it. But yeah, so love for movies goes like way back from there, and then that I was never into sports and all, so this just became like my entire thing.
You met a lot of eclectic people, nice eclectic mix of people, because Assamese, Mumbai, and like all of these people like are like, especially Mumbai people, they're told to be like very like business savvy. Is that where like you get your business sense from, or is it like always something that you had inside?
In Bombay, I was like 10 to 14 years old. Okay. So there's not like business sense apart from that VCD thing. But I think every place has like its, how do you say, its own specialty. But Bombay especially, like why I really like Bombay even now is because I don't know what it is, okay? This might seem like overtly romantic and all of that, but once you land, you step into that city, right? I don't know, it's something about the air. It just makes you want to be, makes you want to hustle or something like that. And in a nice way. There's a lot of course, now those videos of people rushing into local trains and all, it's a very, extremely tough life, but there's a reason why everyone comes there. It's because that city just helps you make your dreams come true in some way or the other. You'll do something there, right? So I think part of it comes from there, I guess. And like, I'll give you a very simple example. So there is this bar we go to in Bombay.
Okay.
Right? It's at the end of, somewhere the end suburb, right? So where one of my family members lives. So, and this is like a standard practice in all the bars. Once you sit down, they come, and then after a point, they'll just suggest whatever you want to order and all of that. Once you've ordered, they come and keep like one plate of murk, Szechuan sauce, all of that kind of stuff, right? And then they get you your drink or food or whatever.
Okay.
Once you're done with the drink, and that murk has like half murk left.
Okay.
He'll take that and put like one new thing. They constantly like watching what you're eating, in the sense not like creepy way or something like that. They like really pay attention to customer service like properly. Like they really take care of it. I think part of what I want to do with our business also is, I think, kind of stems from how much Bombay values business, customer service, and the value of like a rupee, right? If someone pays you something, it means you have to give the best possible that you can. Yeah, I think I get
like
that.
paisa vasool.
Yeah, paisa proper. Yeah. You won't find that in other places.
Okay.
Right? You won't find that in, I can say it, you can't find that in Delhi and all. Delhi, there's like a different sense of entitlement. Chennai, to an extent, that's there, but Bombay, nothing comes close.
So when you were in college, like that's when you have like your first like money, maybe you would have earned it. When I was in college, I earned my money, So for me, the first like...
What did you do?
I was like in social media management. In fact, when I was in college, I had texted you guys.
I think one of my team members told me this. I just remembered.
Yeah. So like when I was in college, I like texted Fully Filmy, and I was just like, okay, what is the procedure to get a job here?
Which year was this?
This was like 2022 or like 2023 beginning.
2023 beginning.
Beginning.
Okay.
I think. Yeah, like before I
know
started.
who to blame, but yeah, okay. No, I blame myself only.
The reason why I applied to Fully Filmy is because I have seen what Fully Filmy was at its like pinnacle, I think, which was when I used to be like a big fan of Kishan, and like I used to watch his like 1 minute reviews on 2 minute reviews on like in YouTube, and this is like when I had to ration my data. So this was like I was being like dedicated to the craft. So back then, I think Fully Filmy like saw an opportunity with YouTube that a lot of people didn't. You know, it wasn't just like, oh, buy our shirts. It was like you were talking about movies, you were talking about cinema, because that's what Fully Filmy was. So what was the whole inspiration behind let's take this to YouTube?
That's what, like, there was no thing that, we want to set up this and through this we want to sell and all of that. There was none of that. I was always interested in content. It was just the time that YouTube started really booming sometime around 2015, 2016. This was when Jio and all came, right? Data became cheaper and people had access and all of that. But still, there were very few channels, especially in Tamil Nadu. Like, I think that time, Paridabangal was Metro Central, and they were part of like a team, and there were very few people. I think Black Sheep
I think
was
like
there.
Put
Chutney was there, and then, of course, you had your Behind Woods Galata there from before. But after that, very few players, and we didn't even think that much. Like, I just thought, I just want to register Fully Filmy's name somehow, right? And then we are interested in what we talk about movies anyways. So why don't we just, start with like a channel? Starting, we put out some really random videos and all that, types of kudikarans and all of this, some weird stuff. And then at that time, I was following Abhishek, who was from Behind Woods at that point, Abhishek Raja.
Okay, got it.
Right? So I just said, I messaged him on Facebook somewhere. I wrote him like a long text, like, I like what you do, because at that time, what he was doing was a little different from what others were asking in terms of interviews, right? Still, you have your same experience, Tala Talabati, all of that stuff. He was trying to do something different. So that time, I just sent him a message, and it just turns out that he was just leaving Behind Woods at that time. Then we met at some coffee shop somewhere here only, in Phoenix. Over here.
Okay.
And we just hit it off. I liked what he was doing. He liked what we were trying to build. He just came on board, and one journey started from there. And then it just became its own thing, right? For the next 2-3 years, it just, I was just involved in quality control, few here and there shooting and all of that stuff. When Abhishek and all was there, he was like running the show. Then Kishan came to us when he was in college. Like at that time, he was also like started with an internship. I think he was one of the first few people to join. The team, right? And he used to, I still remember, like he talks about it every now and then. Like he used to come by share auto and everything. And he started out under Abhishek. Then after a point, Abhishek had to go. Then Kishan and Gautam were taking the place and all that. Then we made one huge mistake. Like now it's a huge mistake. That time it felt like whoa, what an idea and all of that. So we wanted to, because Fully Filmy YouTube channel became its own thing, we were like, won't people think, is it like a merchandise brand or a YouTube channel? So why don't we clear that confusion? And also, this is a point where I was in my mid-20s, right? And early to mid-20s, you're in a completely different
especially when you're handling so many responsibilities.
Yeah.
And when you're like running a business, there are like so many things that you have to overlook,
Yeah, but I wish I paid a little more attention to that, right? In the sense, when you start like a brand, right, you just have to go deep into it as much as possible until people beg you to stop, right? You have to go like hard on it. I have this, I don't know, maybe it's like some disorder or something like that. If there's something that's going well, I'm like, well, let's try something new. Yeah. So that's like the biggest curse of whether it's an entrepreneur or a content creator. I get distracted very easily. That's why my co-founder Anand, right? So he's like this anchor to the ship. Like I'm like a ship, but pretending to be a plane one day, a car another day. So he holds it down, and now he's like, just shut the fuck up for some time. I don't know if you can curse him, so you can
okay,
this thing out. Yeah, we can beep it out. But so that time we had this idea. I had this idea I'll take the blame on myself. I have to. That we should change the YouTube channel's name to Fully, and then talk about things apart from cinema and all that. Because at that like mid-20s, this thing is like you're idealistic. You want to that. It was just before Me Too and all of that stuff that was going on, right? There was a lot of issues that were happening around. I don't know why I had to pay attention to that and create like a channel out of it. I could have just, spoken to friends about it or created a separate channel for it. But we changed this a little bit, changed the direction. Starting 6 months were amazing in the sense. We made this completely animated short film called Dear CSK that did like really well. Then we worked on another thing. It didn't do that well, but this was a time when there were like 20 of us as part of the like working on one particular content piece, right?
Okay.
There was this thing where we created like a stop motion out of clothes. This was around when Rajnikant's Kala released, right? So we wanted to create something out of that. So we made like an action scene using just clothes, put like a camera rig on top.
I don't know why it's like
Yeah.
vaguely very like.
Yeah.
I vaguely remember watching this, but go on.
So 20 days, 20 of us, like the entire team basically, we took turns sleeping, not sleeping, making Maggie in office, and then just working on it day and night. So the thing is, imagine this is a frame. The camera is on top. One person is represented by like a shirt, another guy like a white shirt, black shirt. So they have to fight against each other, right? Each movement like this has like maybe 24, 36 frames or more than that. So you have to move the shirt inch by inch by inch like this. So that took like 20 days. And then the views were not that great in the sense it got to, I don't know how much it is right now, 200 or 300K. But after Dear CSK, we were like really pumped to do this. And then after that bombed, and also I think he made some statement, okay. I think Rajnikant at that time, he made some statement about some issue.
Okay.
That's why there was like some hate around the movie, and I don't know, so there was some negative publicity. I'm not saying because of that the video failed.
Yeah.
It just didn't connect.
It's just like the circumstances of it all.
Yeah, but I guess it didn't connect. So after we took like a big, it was like, should we really put that much effort? Because it really hurts at that time. Now I'm like used to it.
Yeah.
Most of the time when a video, I don't know if most people may not relate to this, but you would, right? When you put like a video out on YouTube, you press publish. After half an hour you check, it's on 10 out of 10, right? It's like maybe for you.
No. I agree. So what he means by 10 out of 10 is that YouTube will, like, as soon as you post something, it will tell you in the last 10 videos which ranking it gets. So when you post like one video and it says 10 out of 10, it basically means out of the last 10 videos you put out, it's
this
like
is the worst one.
This is the worst one. This is like the 10th one, So like I think a lot of YouTubers face it where you're like posting videos and you're like, okay, if it's not in like the top 5 ranks, or if it's not in like the top, at least like top 5 ranks, you tend to feel shitty because you're just like, okay, then what am I doing wrong?
Half a day goes in like, so that's it, it's over.
Yeah, and
that's all, my career is over. I don't there's no point in doing this anymore.
Yeah,
and stuff like that.
And also like when you're putting out like a content piece, right? And especially when you put your heart into it, it actually like, it breaks your heart to see it not perform. And that's why they say like, usually when you do like an art, it's quite difficult to make money out of it, because what might resonate deeply with you might not actually perform at all. And you just put a random video out one day and it'll be like, what, 2 million?
Always. Even our Instagram reels and all, there was a lot of thought and all gone. 7 million, 10 million. But something that we shot like in the camera angle, low angle in the 25K.
Yeah.
No one gives a shit, right? So that hurts. But anyway, so that was how that big mistake happened. So after that,
Did
motivation.
it like demotivate you completely?
Yeah, completely. For some time at least. And then I felt that whoever was part of the brand, they also had to move on to different things. And then we got very confused with the direction of the content and all of that, right? We just were putting all kinds of different things which really interested us. Some did well. After a point, I think it was getting to a point of there's no focus. Just when we wanted to bring focus back, pandemic happened. This is when, because on our YouTube, we didn't used to make that much money and all back then. Actually, it was nothing. So when we started the YouTube channel, it was mainly for, we want to do this, we want to talk about movies and all, build a community, and just register the name Fully Filmy. So this was a time, like even now, you'd know, brands don't really pay much to creators over here, except like a very few. I think post-pandemic things started changing when brands do invest here and all that. But we just exited at that time. One, because there was no money to run the YouTube channel separately. Because I could have been like, let me just do it, right? But because we couldn't handle a team, we were like, merch is making money. Let's try to stabilize the merch. That itself was like, it took like a very big beating because we did like placed a lot of bets just before the pandemic. Right? We were going to go hard on retail. We got licensing, all of that stuff. Invested heavily.
Oh my god! So the thing is, I know a lot about licensing because obviously, like I work very closely with my brother, right? And so since I was like really young, like when I was in school, I've known about like how licensing works and like merchandising especially, and how cost heavy it is and how difficult it is to pay back these royalties that you get for these licenses. But I want to know, like when you acquired those licenses, you know that you have to like pay these royalties back to the people that you acquired it from. Like how did it look like the pre-pandemic time when you got these licenses, and it's going to be really hard to pay back these like royalties?
That time, no, this is one thing. Like if someone is starting new, right, there are people who I talk to who are going to start a business, they're like really excited, right? And it really breaks my heart to tell them to just take a pause for a bit. Don't make the same mistakes that we made in terms of not paying attention to our numbers, right?
Yeah.
Numbers is basically not just how much you're doing.
The finances, like the breakup, you know.
Simple. How much does it cost? How much are you selling at? What is your margin? It's a very simple calculation. I am still struggling to understand and optimize for it. That's why my co-founder Anand is like, he takes care of that. But it's my responsibility to also understand and then not get excited, put offer, this, that, and all that. Right? So I would tell people that, really pay attention to those, it's called unit metrics, right? How much your cost of goods, how much is like the procurement of your material or whatever you want to sell, and then your marketing cost, your shipping cost, and all the operational costs that you have to run your business and all of that. So licensing also is a part of that, which we didn't really factor into because we were on a high. Even though the YouTube stopped, the merch business we're doing is absolute best right before pandemic, right? So we were like, okay, it's doing very well. Now we have to start expanding properly. Let's go to Bangalore. Let's go to Hyderabad. Let's look at retail spaces over there. Let's get Disney license, CSK, this, that, and all. Let's start planning. And then, because all of these things came, Disney license and all was incoming. They're like, you guys are doing very well, and all. We were very naive that time. We were like, oh, what a big deal, Disney.
No, because like I'm the business like my brother ran also had like a Marvel. Yeah, we had
WB,
like WB,
DC and all that.
It all looks so flashy from outside. You're just like, oh my god, we're going to be merchandising all these brands, like all these like names that people will know. But what you don't know is that they will give you the designs. They will tell you that this is what you can sell, and you can't make your own designs and be like, did they allow you to make your designs?
A few. So the thing is, when the thing came through, and they actually send you like this entire pack of...
Yeah, like this drop folder.
Drop folder. And it has like so many different designs and all. So I absolutely love graphic design. Okay? And like that's like after cinema, it's like one of my biggest dopamine hits when I get to see like different types of designs and all that. And to just see all those PDFs, I was like, oh shit, this is going to be... people are going to go crazy. But what I didn't realize is they've given the license to a lot of people.
Yeah.
And everyone has that. And there are people who are doing 5-10 times your business. They just need to put out that they're doing like a Disney collection and then people buy. Yeah. So there are brands like at that time it was like Soul Store and all of that. Everyone had the license. So when everyone has the same thing, how are you going to differentiate?
Yeah.
So one type of differentiate that we tried to do was we did like a Tamil collection, right? So that was like very difficult to convince people. So it was like Deadpool saying "Nee mood hai" and all of that kind of stuff. It was fun that time. Okay, so firstly, the national team sits out of Bombay.
Okay.
Firstly, you have to explain to them. They will not understand the references. Like we had Vadivel reference and all for Deadpool and all of that.
Okay.
First,
That would have been so funny.
yeah. It was fun making it. It was a fun time. But then you have to firstly convince the Bombay guys, who have to then convince the Disney US and all that, right? The headquarters and all. So we had to literally give like a one-page description of what this one dialogue even means, like full context, so that it avoids any kind of any hatred and all of these guidelines that they have, right? So that's one differentiation that we tried. But the thing is, licensing in India, when it comes to these big ticket licenses, it's like now pretty much everyone has it, and now even the license holders are struggling to create good movies or how do you say, sustain their fandom. So that is in a little weird space now. But then a lot of other new interesting licensing opportunities and all have opened up, like in terms of anime and or what we do in terms of Tamil, Telugu and all of that kind of stuff, right? So
Did you manage to convince them to like let you use Tamil?
Yeah. We launched a collection.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like that is one thing is that capitalism will crush your creativity, but like this is actually pretty like solid like story to hear, because I've never seen anyone.
No one has attempted it.
Yeah. How was it getting those licenses pre-pandemic and then actually trying to make your margins after like the pandemic hit?
That is what, like, in a sense, when the pandemic hit, right? So one of the first things that happened was all our retail stores, which we had retail stores across all the malls in Chennai, like at least 5-6 retail stores that we had. So everything just came to a standstill for many, many months. So all the rent, all of that stuff that was invested, like, it was just, there was no revenue from that. Like a big chunk of revenue was completely gone. In like for our online this thing, in terms of stock and all that we invested, we couldn't sell for the first I think 1 or 2 months or something. So there were a lot of operational difficulties, and licensing was a part of it that came during that time. And because of that, it really took a hit for those first 2 years of the pandemic. It's like, in these Rajini movies where he gets to a point and then someone beats him up, he loses everything. Shivaji had an interval point.
Yeah, got it.
And the watch kuda in the list, sir. So then he gives that and then he starts completely from scratch, right? That's what it was for us. So licensing is just one of the problems. We've seen a lot of other things, and now we've gotten to a certain point. It's like, in like a boxing match, in all these rocking movies, right? We watch rocking movies.
Yeah, my dad's a big fan. Like that's literally his like ringtone.
Okay, but so there's like 10 rounds or something, whatever, right? I don't know how many.
10.
Don't this thing me on it. But at the end of round 7 or something, he's all like beaten up, bloodied, and all of that, right? Then he just has to get back up, and that one punch, the other guy is like knocked out. So we're at that point right now, right? We are up, and now we got to beat the other person. So now it's kind of doing well. We have to expand after this, right? In all different things, and there are a lot of problems to fix, which we'll get to one by one.
One thing that I like about you and like even Adityan, the founder who had come before us, is that both of you are kind of content creators. Like Adityan, at least he's like full-on content creator along with like entrepreneur, but you also managed to do like fully filmy and your content, and I love his video essays. Like they're actually so good. Like I said it in the beginning of the video itself, I think, but like I could sit and watch I watched all of your video essays,
Thank you,
and like
thank you.
I think recently you restarted your YouTube channel. Like after a long time, you like started.
I've taken few breaks.
Yeah.
That's mainly because like I had my daughter like 6-7 months back. And let's not get into that the circumstances of what happened, because it was a very scary time, right? And because of that, I had to take like a long break. Then I got back. Then now again I've taken like a break because mom's health, this, that, and all. Restarted, that happens every now and then. But yeah, you were saying, yeah.
Yeah. So I want to know, like, what is it like juggling both of it? And like especially when you're like putting out opinions about films, and your audience watches you, and you also have like this film merchandising company. Like, what does it actually look like to you when you put out opinions and your audience doesn't agree with you? Like that's always going to be there. But also you're so passionate about films that you want to talk about all of these things. So what does it look like to you to juggle all of that?
Okay, so when I started my own YouTube channel, right? So that was not to talk about movies and all. My thing was like a very, how do I say? It's like I've created content most of my life, like since college and after that, like I used to write my blogs and all that. Blogs were a thing, right? Then we had a Facebook page like called Minimal Collywood Posters, from which Fully Filmy's starting, customer base even started, right? So I've always been creating content, and thing is like, this was around 2019, right? This was when our YouTube, we had to take like a pause on it, and the team and all had to be completely this thing from scratch, right? So I started the YouTube channel. One of the reasons was to see if I can do it again, right? In the sense, like, can I build an audience from scratch again? And also, of course, I wanted to talk about stuff other than movies. Then I realized that, there's only that much stuff I can talk about other than movies. Because personal stories, all of that, firstly, my life is very boring. So we have to invent new ways of telling the same thing again and again.
I agree. I completely agree. When I see like people put out like these interesting vlogs, and I'm just like, how is your life that interesting?
Yeah. And that's what I didn't get into vlogs and all because I think I did one, but I don't do anything in the sense I go to work, we talk about the same shit, we come back, I do the same shit, and I spend some time with fam, and that's all. I go to sleep. I watch movies in the middle. That's all that we do, right? So I started this mainly because of that. I don't know if you can call it ego or whatever. Like, I wanted to see if I can do this again. That's how I started. It built, to a certain extent, and then I just randomly put out a video about like some feel-good movies or something like that. That did really well. I was like, okay, so maybe this is all that we know. Let me just talk about movies only. I just continued that. Now it's gotten to what, like 123k subscribers or something like that. Juggling, yeah, it is tough. The thing that you said about opinions, right? That's like a very valid thing.
Yeah. Because I've seen you like argue with people online, like on Twitter especially, and like I'm like, Raunaq, you're a founder.
Yeah. So I'm still trying to come to terms with that. That's why we also stopped reviews on our channel, like long back. Where like, if you're promoting movies, then you can't diss it. We don't really diss and all.
Yeah, if you don't like it, like you.
There are a few examples.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we try to be as civil as possible. We don't spread hate. That is something that we're very sure about. But we're like, we can't do this both. And for me, I'm still trying to come to terms with how do I put it out. There's this content creator. I'll give you an example of another content creator, Gary Vaynerchuk. He's like a content creator, but he also has like multiple businesses. He's invested in Twitter, Uber, all of that kind of stuff, like long back. So he's like this veteran content creator, and a lot of people shit on him because he's always about like hustling and all of that,
it's
right?
About grind.
Yeah, it's all about the grind and all of that stuff. But there is value in a few of these things that he's saying. He keeps saying the same thing over and over again because most people don't pay attention to the basic shit. So one of the businesses that he started was this thing called Wine Library.
Wine
Library.
Like actual wine.
Actual wine. His dad was having like, I think he had a liquor store or like a wine shop, not like Taskmark, but actual wines.
Like old vintage
wines and all of that. And that was like a traditional old mom and pop kind of business from decades ago, right? So he being like the next in line, so he used to work at that shop, getting to know customers and all of that kind of stuff, right? This was sometime in the 90s.
Okay.
90s or early 2000s or something like that. Internet had just come in that time, 98, 99 kind of. So what he did was that he just thought of this thing that let me just start like a show where I talk about wines, right? So he had all of these different wines. So he'll just do this. He'll just take one wine bottle, and then be like, this sucks, right? This is like from 1985, and people say all of this shit about that, but it sucks. And I'll suggest this is what you should be doing. So I think he's selling the wine, right? He's selling the stuff, and he's also shitting on it at the same time. But there's like a sense of authenticity that comes across, that this guy is not trying to just sell shit to us, because if he says this wine is good for this wine is good for this, and he just continuously sells, right? People are not interested. They're not going to be interested, or they'll just call it fake. So I think that part about me having certain opinions about certain films and all of that, trust me, I control a lot. So I don't like, there are so many things that, there was a part of my life where I was trying to be nice, but in reality, I'm not really that, how do you say? You don't have to be nice for the sake of it.
Yeah.
Authentically being nice or being honest, just that's the best thing. So there's a lot of things I curb, but certain opinions that I put out, and yeah, people argue with me on that. But the thing is, I have that opinion, but at the same time, it's not like if I like movie A, that the company won't sell it, because I don't want my personal opinion to, how do you say, affect, or how do you say, impact how the business functions, right? That is impartial. Like, Fully Filmy should be open to all kinds of fans. I'm a fan. I consider myself a fan. That's why I'm like, I will have these opinions.
Yeah.
And some people like that. That's not right. But as in, you can't win. But I'm trying to come to terms with that.
Yeah. I mean, how can you not have opinions? You know, everybody's like meant to have them.
Yeah. And the thing is, there's one guy. So I put something about Dune. Okay?
Yeah, I saw.
Yeah. So there's one guy saying, this is what feeds you. You know. Firstly, no. There are other things that feed me.
Okay.
And you can't disrespect the medium. Bro, I just said that I fell asleep during the movie.
Yeah.
It does not mean that the movie sucks. It's a very subjective, personal opinion. And maybe I'll watch it again. I have not even watched part 2 because the first part, I didn't like it.
Yeah.
And so that doesn't mean I pretend that, you know, it's the best movie ever made just because a lot of people like it. Everyone puts out stuff, people are going to react.
Yeah.
I think that's completely okay. And then I think someone else came to my defense, saying that, bro, it's just his personal opinion. Don't go into his stomach and all of that.
Yeah.
I think that's very sweet.
I think there's just like this, internet has like this personality where it's like, you're always supposed to be grateful.
Yeah.
Like, you're always supposed to be grateful all the time. And like, especially when like someone comes and says like, oh, you're not supposed to have an opinion about cinema. Like, of course you can have an opinion about cinema, but like, how you're always supposed to be grateful for some reason. Like, you're like, நீ cinema பத்தி பேசக்கூடாது because நீ உனக்கு cinema வந்து சாப்பாடு போடுது அப்படின்னு.
See, grateful.
It's like toxic
okay,
almost, the positivity.
You can be grateful in the sense, for that, I can tell that one guy that, please look at all my other videos where I talk about movies none of you guys even have heard of or care about.
Yeah.
That's because I like it. I want to make that movie reach more people. I genuinely care.
Yeah.
Right? But I can't be arguing with that with every single person, right? It's okay. Like, people have their opinions. Like I have mine, they have theirs, right? And the thing is, there are other people who see what you've done and they'll stand up for you. It's not like I'm motivating them that go.
Don't watch,
So that's okay. And it's not a disrespect to the medium. It's just, it's one film. And I think I do enough other stuff to, you know, make up for one opinion.
Yeah. Oh my god. But like the thing about like opinions being like polarizing on the internet is so true, because you can say something so simple and like someone can pull something out and be like, but you know.
Remember when it's not very long back, I don't know where you stand on the movie, but when Animal came out, have you watched it?
Yeah, unfortunately, but I didn't watch it in theaters because I didn't want to give it money.
Why?
Because I didn't want to support the film.
Why?
Because I saw the kind of film it was, like through clips, and I was just like, this is not a film that I would enjoy, or would I want to see it come back ever again. So I didn't watch it. And like when I had already a Netflix subscription paid for, so when it came, I had like skipped and watched it, and I was like,
okay, but funny. Don't you think, firstly, I'm not sitting on this thing and all that, but this a lot of people are doing, like when someone would take some clip from the theater and be like, you know, this happened in the movie. Firstly, it didn't happen.
Okay.
Like, for example, there was one scene about he makes her lick his feet or his shoe or something like that. That scene is there. But it is not the same way that's there in the movie.
Yeah.
So when you put out an opinion without enough context and without the context of the entire movie, it becomes its own monster and people start feeding into that. I'm not feeling bad for Sandeep Reddy Vanga and be like, poor guy, please give him another chance. No, it's not like that. But at least watch it, before you have your own opinion. Watch it complete, shit on it, how much ever.
Yeah, I just didn't want to watch it in the theaters. I definitely watched it on Netflix.
That's okay. You want to watch it or not, that's completely your own thing. But there's another kind of thing. It's like, when you like something, they'll be like, so if someone likes animal, right? There were a group of people who will be like, if you like animal,
Yeah.
you're a potential rapist.
Oh, okay. Okay. Generalization.
Yeah.
Got
So
it.
these are like literal tweets that I read.
Yeah.
That is weird because I watch all kinds of movies, man. Like, I watch movies in which the head gets split open and blood like splashes out like that. But it's not like I'm going to do it in real life.
Yeah.
People like different kinds of things. People like different kinds of things when they're watching it in private and all that kind of stuff. That doesn't mean they are that kind of people, right? So, this is a problem with opinions on the internet. It's like you take one thing, it gets extrapolated to something else, and then they think that opinion is you. But that opinion is one of the million opinions that you have, and there's a rest of, you have an entire personality, right? You might be something else in real life and you have a family and all that, but
I think someone was talking about this recently where they were just like, you can have opinions and not really be in the same belief of thought. Like, say you have an opinion that is, like, say there are two beliefs of thought, and you have an opinion in one belief, like just something that you agree with this side, left or right. Let's keep it like that. Like, it's not that you completely
left or right political.
no. So it's not like you completely identify yourself as right or left. You just think that, okay, they're doing something right and they're doing something right, but there's no like sort of middle ground that you can find on the internet, because every like opinion that you put out somehow seems to be like an extension of yourself. Like every time you post something or every time you say something, even if it's like just a gray thought that you have, like, or a gray opinion that you might have on something, it's like, you're either black and white.
Yeah.
Pick a choice. Like pick your struggle and like stick to it. Yeah. So I think that's the only thing that people should like open their minds about, is that like there might be people who are neither black or white. They're just devil's advocate, and like they might just enjoy things that you don't like, and that's completely okay.
But that's what people don't have time. They don't have enough time these days. And they don't even want to spend enough time to think about what you said, right? Or the nuance in what is there, right?
Some people just want to be right.
Like, some people are honest about it. Like, there are some accounts who just come to Twitter to shitpost on me.
Yeah.
So be honest about it. Like, I'm taking out all my frustration. That is fine. But there are a lot of people just stuck. Firstly, taking Twitter too seriously. There's a world beyond that.
Yeah.
At least I think so. People think that Twitter is the entire world, but no, it's just one part of your world. People say some shit, move on, that's it. Yeah, it does impact stock prices and all according to what some people say, but I don't know, like, if you're on it and if you want to invest so much energy, just put in some little extra time to understand what that person said, or try to understand.
Yeah. But anyways,
wishful thinking.
Yeah, I don't think the behavior of the internet can be changed. It can obviously be discussed, but it depends on like person to person. Not everyone's going to take you or what you say seriously, So that's all on the discourse on the internet. We just went on one random
different tangent.
Yeah. But like all of this came from like opinions and talking about films, reviews, and these are things that you continue to do, and I hope that you do continue to do it, because I personally love video essays, and I like it when someone puts across something that I haven't noticed, but like it's right there, but when you say it, it's like, why didn't I see that, And it's always so nice to have that feeling that like, oh yeah, that's like the best feeling for me, at least when I'm watching like a movie essay or any sort of like breakdown, that it's like it was always right there, like why didn't I see it? So personally, I really enjoy the content creator that you are, and I hope that
likewise.
I hope that you never actually stop. Like, how you said in the beginning that you didn't have like direction with your like YouTube channel, like in the middle it just became fully. I think that you have direction right now with like the Raunaq that you're doing, like just your own page. And I think that this is something that you should really take forward as like a fan,
Thanks for that. But the thing is, like, what I've observed in the last, now it's been 4-5 years since I started the channel. It doesn't feel like I started yesterday on me. And the thing is, for me, and I'm sure you also treat it like this is like it's a long-term game, right? It's like a marathon. And you take a break here, you start something else over here, there'll be learnings from this, and then you apply it to this, right? Yeah. That's what I'm trying to do now. Like, every time I meet someone, if someone recognizes me at some theater or something like that, they'll be like, when is this coming back? When is Fully Filmy channel coming back? On one side, I'll be like, hey, podcast la mudiyadara. That was a different time. But at the same time, I guess people really liked what we did, and we lost our direction. But now I want to bring that back properly. So we're just at that cusp of that. Like I told you, that this is around 7, right? So we're rethinking all of those things that we did wrong, all the mistakes that we're continuing to do, and all of that. So Fully Filmy's content division is like one of those things, and I just hope I want to try finding the right team to.
Yeah. Well, I think every Gen Z kid growing up, at least I've seen a little bit of, I've seen videos where entrepreneurs have talked about oh, I've actually ripped off your company, I'm really sorry about that. Have you seen that video?
Which one?
There's this guy on the internet who was just I ripped off your company when I was in college and I'm really sorry.
Oh, okay. I'll check it out. I've not seen it.
Wow. Oh. So I think he has his own business now or something. But he was just this is a mistake that I made, that, I just took an idea from someone else and thought that I could make it my own. But I think that a lot of us saw what Fully Filmy could be because we saw a successful YouTube channel. One of the longest memories of an interview with a celebrity happening was Rashmika and Vijay Devarkonda with Kishan
and Shweta, yeah.
So I was just at that time this was not done, stars don't go to YouTube channels, they don't sit and talk with YouTubers, they're not given the respect, that just they just treat you as someone, so
it's not just stars, huh? It's no one gives a shit.
Yeah, no one.
Now people take YouTubers and all seriously because of what you guys also done post that boom, right? At that time, Kishan will tell you, I don't know if he's told you the stories and all. When you used to go to a show, right? Like a press show or something like that.
He's told
Firstly, we are not considered press.
Yeah.
Right? They'll make you sit somewhere separately, down or something like that. They won't give you that right chair. You will be the last person in the day. There are slots for stars, right? To take the interview before a movie comes out. You'll be given the the last slot and all. I think now it's reversing a little bit because I'm speaking to people from popular newspapers and all, who have YouTube channels and all of that. Now it's they are still giving us the slot only because of our legacy value. But these YouTubers, man, they're just coming and taking everything. Now it's
So whenever a actor comes on our thing, right? His schedule is always wrapped around this one YouTuber's schedule. Every single time, he has to give the date to the actor in order.
This person?
Okay. He has to give the date to the actor so that all of the other YouTubers can get their dates.
That's good in a way, no?
Yeah, that's amazing. The fact that he is able to, he has so much influence, that the fact that he has to give other people's dates, that's the kind of growth I want to see from a YouTuber,
You'll get there. You're already kind of there, but you will get there. And that's what we might shit on the internet for having shitting on opinions and all of that stuff. But this is the greatest thing about the internet. About YouTube especially. YouTube is not what it used to be before. When it started with cat videos and people just saying some random shit on the
You will not believe the history of how YouTube started. I'll tell you later.
I'll
tell you later. Okay. It's too PG.
Okay. But the YouTube is not the same that it used to be. But it's nice that, now anyone this Nancy Tyagi, right, who went to Canada, whatever your opinions are about her, she started from nothing and she's there. And people are still sitting.
I don't think so. The whole internet loves her.
There are some people who are oh, someone did her makeup dirty. Shut up or something. Where are you sitting? So, and it's not about followers and all of that. Just 1 second be happy for someone, no? Just 1 second.
Yeah.
That's all. But so it's changed the game totally. And I don't know what is going to happen after this with AI and all that.
Dude, I am excited. I think YouTube right now, I know this is going on a whole internet YouTube discourse, but pardon us, okay? But I think YouTube right now is on a cusp of a change that I don't know if we're like going to see in like right now or a couple years, but I genuinely see more storytellers coming out and like saying their stories, and it's not so much as like a day in my life vlog or like it's not so the vlog format was really popular for a good couple years, you know. And for me, I think there's like a whole new wave of YouTube that's coming or it's like right around the corner, and before you know it, I think there's going to be like a next breakout like YouTube star, you know. Usually it happens before like a phenomenon starts, you know, like when you see like Emma Chamberlain or like Liza Koshy, all of them like this Lily Singh set up skits, you know. And I'm saying all female YouTubers because those are the people I watched. And like Liza Koshy with like her skit / blogs, and then Emma Chamberlain with like her quirky vlogs, and like all of these people like set precedents for like how YouTube can function, you know. And I think that it's around the corner for like another creator to just give YouTube a go, and it's going to change how the platform looks for everyone, you know.
I hope YouTube never dies.
Yeah, it will never. But I think that, like, personally, opinion, I think Mr. Beast ruined YouTube.
Why?
I think that the way that he like sort of gamified with YouTube and like the thumbnail game, like how
that is the game.
Yeah, I know, but I just didn't like what he did.
Okay.
Like
Personal opinion.
Personal opinion. Like I didn't like how he made like YouTube like this little Big Boss show. Like, dude.
See, even I don't like his content. Okay, in the sense like I don't watch all of it here and there. I don't dislike it. I'm not the maybe like the right target audience to look at people fighting against each other for some $100,000 or something like that. But what I like about YouTube and about him is that you can come from nowhere, just be relentless.
Yeah,
right?
determined.
And you'll get somewhere.
Yeah.
And he did just that, right?
Yeah.
That's something that a lot of people don't do nowadays. In the sense, like really, really go deep into what you're doing. And people might blame it on, Instagram or whatever, because it's taking like a lot of their attention span and all of that stuff. But it's partly on you. Once you realize that, just put your phone away for one day and then you'll know how much work you get done if you want to do work.
Yeah.
If you want to be entertained, that's completely fine. But yeah, Mr. Beast, there's one more filmmaker, right? He's just some guy from college. He just put out one short film that he shot in college.
Oh my god, yeah, I saw that.
Yeah.
I saw that before Sony even picked it up.
I didn't know about this.
Yeah.
I had no idea. Fuck, what
a story.
I don't even understand it, but it's so good. It's like so engaging. And then Darren Aronofsky picked it up, and then
To give context for this story is that like there was this short film shot by this Harvard economics student who spent a year making this short film, and he put it out, and like within like a month, I think I saw it go from like 200K, because these are the kind of videos that come from on my feed. I saw it go from like 2 million, 3 million. I don't know if it's at 3 million or not, but
I think it's 4.7 or something.
Yeah,
last I checked.
Yeah, so like it's this short film. It's his only video also, I think. So yeah, like the director picked up the film, and I think now Sony has given him the position to be a director, to actually direct something. So YouTube has paved a platform for people who can't. You don't need your these backgrounds or anything. You just have to have, like you said, like that relentlessness to keep creating. And one thing I think is like very admirable about YouTubers that put out videos every day is that you don't understand how hard that is.
Oh shit, yeah.
Like when people say like Madan Gauri, Irfan, and the one thing that I appreciate about both of them, regardless of what content that they make, is that it takes a certain level of like showing up for yourself to constantly show up every single day. And I don't think people understand how difficult that is, because you don't even show up at the gym every day. Imagine showing up and like putting something out there every day. In front of so many people.
Yeah. And then knowing that people are going to say shit.
Yeah.
So have you read Atomic Habits?
Yeah, I have.
Yeah. So that's the main thing it talks about is this, right? It's about the boring stuff that really adds to your growth, right? Just showing up every single day. It's not about if it's like an athlete or something. It's not, his growth is not about the matches he wins and all of that. It's on all the boring days when he's like, I can't do it today.
Yeah.
I just don't want it. But he just gets to the gym or to the playground or whatever it is, and then he just shows up and practices.
Yeah.
That's where
you might even have a shit day, like
Yeah.
it might not even work out, but then do you come up and do you like do it every day? That's the whole challenge, you know. Do it like I can't do it every day personally. Like I can't do it every day, but like every time I don't do it every day, I feel guilty. You know, I'm just like, oh, I didn't do anything today. So I think that one thing that we can all appreciate about like anyone who's anyone, you know, take it like from a creator or an entrepreneur or someone who's starting to create, someone who goes to a job every day, everyone who shows up every day for themselves is like a certified winner. Like you're going to make it. Like eventually at some point you're going to make it. And I think that you have also showed up for your fully filmy.
No. I mean,
You
when
have
someone says that, it's like, it's very, like you said, very guilt-inducing, because I know all of the times I've taken so many wrong decisions, not done this.
Yeah, but you've learned every single way that you're not supposed to do something.
I've learned a lot. Yeah, I've learned a lot of things not to do. I still make those same mistakes again and again, but yeah, hopefully looking to solve that out.
Yeah, like every time I export my YouTube video, like every time on FCP, every time I learn a new way how not to do it. You know, like the other day, I think I saved a JPEG file in the same name as my main MOV file. And I'm just like, where is the YouTube video? So like, you're always doing stupid shit and you're figuring out how to, you know, handle it from there. But yeah, I don't even know where this went. Like personally,
where do we start from?
We had like this whole discussion about YouTube. I think there was this one question that I wanted to ask you is that I was at the Star movie premiere and I saw merchandising partner Fully Filmy and I felt like I was just like, yes.
Did you see it?
Yeah, I actually saw it.
Where did you see it?
In the credits.
Really?
Yeah.
End or starting?
End.
Okay. Okay, so because the team told me that it wasn't there.
It was there when I saw it. You know?
Okay.
So, yeah. Anyways, my question is, you have merchandise for like so many films, and the one thing that I've always noticed is that, see, a film comes out, I'm going to watch it for 3 months. Like, I'm going to see people talk about it for 3 months, and if it's a brilliant film, it'll go on for like 6 months, 1 year, and if it's a cult, people keep talking about it. So you take the licenses out for this one film, and then the next film comes, people sort of forget about the old film. You know, they don't have fandoms, they just have an audience that goes and like watches it. So what is it like to Fully Filmy to take these licenses and like bet on these films working?
So we don't have to like really bet hard, right? In the sense, the big ticket licenses that we have to spend a lot of effort on, because you know that it's going to sustain for longer. You put a lot of effort into every license and all, but you know that this is the window, and we treat it as like top of the funnel marketing, right? And our model is such that the design and you know, the supply chain is what we have to invest on, right? That is a small thing. Otherwise, it's not really. It's the licensing of like a Disney or something is very different, because there you pay like an MG, like a minimum guarantee right at the top. This doesn't work like that. It works a little differently, and it's like there's like a revenue share on this.
Okay.
So our thing is, the licensing is easy, because now the production houses will come to us and they'll be like, let's do this, and we'll collaborate and put out this thing, right? Our main game is 20 to 25% is the licensing bit, in the sense like these official movie merchandise and all that. The sales has to come from the rest of the 75%. So our main challenge is, what are we going to do for that, right? People will come in like looking at maybe like an RRR, official merchandise, like a new audience comes in, like from Andhra, Telangana, US, whoever Telugu people are all over there. They'll come into Fully Filmy, they'll buy this. So my challenge is, how am I going to keep them coming back after this? What am I going to create next? That is what we have to figure out after this. So, yeah, it's a short period only for these movies. Except like RRR, Master, that one T-shirt, right? That's Man with a Plan. That's still going, and there are people from Japan, Taiwan, and all buying.
Wow.
I'm trying to understand what is.
You should actually like call them up and talk to them.
Yeah, we do that.
Okay.
So we do that. Anyone. If we see like a pattern, right? So we call them up and talk. So we saw a lot of RRR T-shirts going from a single customer. Then we to Japan, right? Kept on ordering from there, and then how is the guy correctly every 3 months there's like these many
Bulk orders.
bulk orders
Oh, is
and
he
all that.
reselling them?
Yeah. So we called him
Oh.
and then he's like, oh yeah, actually I'm doing this. My family has like a store over there and that's what I'm doing. So you could just tell us first, no, we'll give you like a better price.
Okay.
We'll give you like a bulk deal and all that. So that is like a different conversation.
Wow. Fully Filmy in Japan? That's crazy.
A very small
Still,
population, but it's nice to know.
I would take the W, man, right then and there.
And I go through basically, so we have that app on our phone, right? The Shopify app. So that's one thing I do from the beginning to right now. Every order, like I go through where these people are from, where this thing, because there are some really interesting patterns that you notice. You sit on the weekend, take like a notebook, see like, okay.
Yeah, I think
collection-
I've seen you write down like from Mumbai so many, from Chennai so many.
And people are like, you can just use a data scientist for this. Bro, I know. I just love doing it.
Yeah, it just feels more like
Romantic, nostalgic.
Yeah, I used to sit and do this for my brother as well. So, like when I was studying BCom, right? Like everything I learned there, I already knew. Like just straight out of the Shopify app,
Yeah.
I already understood every concept that was there. So, yeah. Anyways, like I don't want to go too much into that. Since like these movies come out and like you have to, the licenses for movies, like you said, work differently. What is like that? You have like the 3-month bracket, right? So let's just say like the film performs really well, and like people are talking about it for like 4-5 months. Okay, you have like a small bracket of time where you can market it to people. So it starts from way before the film, I'm guessing.
Controversial. So the thing is, I'll tell you about the positive, like the good side of things, right? RRR, for example, it came out in 2022, I think, if I'm not wrong. Yeah. But they approached us with the license almost 2 years ago.
Okay.
It was in 2020 March. Rajamouli's son, right, who's the executive producer, he reached out to our team and he's like, we like what you're doing. Like, would you like to do
That's
this?
so crazy.
That's crazy. Like, and they're so professional, right? So, and this is it's like a very rare thing. So, and we obviously thought it's a Rajamouli movie.
Yeah.
Right? I think it was our first Telugu
Yeah.
license also. So, Anand, right? So he flew in March 2020 to Hyderabad, met Kartikeya, who was the son of Rajamouli, and for a single day, and then they're like, yeah, you guys, like, let's do this, let's plan this and all that. And then he came back, and then this was, I think, few days before the lockdown, right? So this was one of the last flights that, were flying from within India and all of that, right? And then we had a lot of time to design it. We had a lot of time to plan the launch, and then we took, 1 or 2 months to even collaborate with like one of our team members, like who was there till last year. He really, really likes data. He really likes people as much as I do in terms of, fans and all of that. He's really into fan culture. He got in touch with all these NTR fan clubs, Ramcharan fan clubs there in Andhra. Personally spoke to them over Twitter, DM, called them in his broken Telugu, and then managed to like really build like a proper relationship with them. And then that marketing began from there. It also helped that the movie's release got delayed a little bit. It got delayed like twice or thrice because of the second wave, I think, like that. And then it finally released in 2022. It's still going strong. But this is an exception. Most of these license holders and all, they come 1 week before the movie or 10 days.
1 week?
Yeah, 1 week, 10 days before the movie. And sometimes the biggest stars ka movies, we have to be in their like office on the last day almost, the last or second last day, and be like, guys, you said, we are doing a license, but we just need the agreement. Like, we need like a go ahead to start with, right? That gets delayed sometimes. So because they're also dealing with a lot of other things. This is one of their things that they're doing. They're dubbing and then all of the prints and all going on time.
Yeah,
It's
they're
just
going for like the press and the promotions and all of this.
It's a little bit unorganized, but so that's why we don't get time for most movies to market it properly before the release. After that, we have to do it. And this also leads to like customers will be like, the movie is releasing tomorrow. Where's the t-shirt?
Where's the t-shirt?
So that's like because they ordered like 2 days back or something, and we can't deliver in 2 days. So we have to go an extra mile to use Dunzo and then deliver from Chennai. Then what if it's outside Chennai? Then you can't do anything because we deliver almost like worldwide.
Yeah.
So Chennai we can manage, but if someone's from Bangalore, Hyderabad, then it's like it goes into hell, and our customer support team has to face that, right? So it is a pickle, but that's the nature
The
of the
more
game.
and more Raunaq talks about his like business, I'm just like, oh my god, this is so hard because you're
It's
like
horrible, but it's beautiful at the same time. What is that thing called? Anbutallaya.
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, it's like the pain that you wish. It's like this wound on your skin that you want to keep on scratching. It hurts, but it feels good.
Oh, that's such a oh no.
That's how entrepreneurship is. Like every day is like a challenge. You look at all your tasks and everything, and you feel like you want to puke, but there's no other way. Like it's a kind of a life in itself.
Dude, like the amount of like I am a person who like I talk to very limited people. Like apart from my podcast, I actually don't talk to a lot of people at
Same,
all. So like when I talk to like entrepreneurs, and I love talking to them, you know, because you learn so much from them. But when I talk to them, I always hear about their like day, and I'm just like, this sounds like hell to me. Because you have to handle like these tough situations, and you have to like go out of your shell and like talk to people and be like, hey, like get this done quickly, like.
Yeah, and it's not just these tasks, right? It's like an entire game. You have to look at how much money is there in the bank. Most of the time, there's no money, and then you have to go for funding, and then that's the nature of the game. And then we wasted, how do I say? Like I think 2 years waiting for few things to happen, but I won't blame the other person. I have to blame myself only because.
Is it like you were waiting on funding? Is it?
Yeah, for few big deals, right? It's not just like a funding round. It was supposed to change the game itself, and we wasted a lot of time in that. And the end the terms didn't work out, but I blamed them at that time. But at the same time, it's like no, you can't blame them. It's like what were you doing? You didn't have to wait for that. Think of something else and start acting on it, right?
That is such an important lesson.
That's like really. How do I say? That's one main thing. Like in the last, I don't feel like it's 9 years. At the same time, it feels like it's been there since like a very, very long time. This one main learning is like, no one owes you shit. Just shut the fuck up and get back to work. Make things happen. Stop waiting for things to happen and just make things happen.
Sorry to bring this about myself, but like it is, I'm not a business person, but how this is relatable to me is that like sometimes when I see like a roadblock, I just stop.
Like a little roadblock?
Like you know, a metaphorical one. Like if I see a roadblock, I just stop. And like I was talking about this to someone, and they were just like, you know, like if you want to do something, you see a roadblock, you don't stop. You just try to find another way. You keep like finding a solution. You can't just stop in the middle of the way and just sit down and be like, well, I'm going to wait for someone to come fix this for me. So I think that that's something that I feel like entrepreneurs all have, is that you guys always find solutions, even like when you're in the pits of hell. You're like literally in the pits of hell, and you're like, well, I got to find myself out. Like, I got to take myself out. I got to find a way out. So that's something that I really admire about like entrepreneurs, like every single one of you, like no matter like how successful or like how many like failures you've seen, all of them are going to be like people who have solutions.
Rather than solutions, I would just say it's all about survival.
Yeah.
Whoever stays the longest will somehow win, right? It's the same with content also. I know all of the different barriers that you have, like we just spoke about all those different layers, right? Gender, this, that, all of that stuff. You're getting past that. There's a lot of hate also. You're getting past that. You're surviving and showing up every day. That's how. If you keep the boat afloat for long enough, you'll reach somewhere. It might not be where you wanted to go, but you'll get somewhere.
Yeah.
From
fair enough.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Honestly, I think everybody should create content.
Everybody is in a way.
Yeah.
Right? It's just that a lot of people give up much earlier, right? So that's what I see that next few years, so many more people are going to become influencers. I hate that word, but content creators.
Can we talk about it?
Sure.
Like, why is it that people hate the word influencers, but content creator is like somehow like the better
because
word?
Content creator is a job, right? In the sense, it's something that you do every day. Influencer, you don't know if you're influencing anyone, right?
But they do, though, right?
When you get to a certain stage, right,
Yeah.
you can't be like, you are nothing. Imagine
Okay.
you're like whether it's 30-year-old or 20-year-old or whatever, you know nothing. You have created not a single piece of content, but you're like, I'm going to be an influencer tomorrow. I don't think that's the right approach. In the sense, influence is a result of what you do, right? It's a result of all the work that you put in. If someone gets influenced, that's great. But content creator is a job. That's how I look at it. Right?
Okay, so you're saying that the influence is the result of content creation,
Yeah.
rather not the job itself.
Yeah, it will become a job later.
Yeah.
Because when you get to a certain stage, and you don't even know when that stage is. And I'm not talking about you.
No.
I'm talking about anyone who's starting out, right? The thing is, are you working for those views, or are you working for what you want to create?
The community.
For the community, what your passion to create something, and then finding someone who equally loves that,
Yeah.
right? And then you'll build influence. It'll come automatically on its own, right? It's not like I want to influence this person from that. Who are you? No one cares. Like, not you.
No. But even if you said it, like,
No,
even if you said it at me, I'd still take it with like, like it.
You're not at that stage anymore. I'm saying anyone who's starting out new, right?
I still think that like people use like influencer as like a bad word. But
I don't
like,
say it's a bad word.
Yeah.
I don't like it.
No, like a lot of people use it in like a negative way, you know. And like it's not like I call myself an influencer or anything like that. I just think that like everybody's putting themselves out there. Everybody's creating something. Everybody's trying to do something for themselves. And like within the creators itself, let's not like create a divide where it's like, oh, like you're an influencer and I'm a content creator.
Oh, I'm not saying that.
Yeah.
I don't like the word anyways.
Yeah.
Right? I would like to be known as like a content creator for the rest of my life, because that's what I do. I create content. Rest, whether you like it or you don't like it, whether you get influenced, I don't know. That is up to you. Yeah.
So I just think that it's just like a petty way to look at things, but like again, let's agree
to disagree.
Agree to disagree, you know, like
that's okay.
yeah,
That's how the world should be.
Opinion works.
Yeah.
I wanted to say this when you came, but I'm like a big fan of your sister. Can you please tell her?
Oh my God. This is something. See, I'm very happy 5 seconds after someone says it, right? From the second 0 to second 5, there'll be like someone who comes and like, hey, Raunaq, right? Yeah, hi. Nice to meet you. He's like, really big fan of your sister. I'm like,
I love
okay.
Deepti. I love her so much. She's so funny.
She's so good, man. In the sense, I don't know, she just built something from zero. And the thing is, she was like this at home, in the sense, just movie editor, she'll be dancing in front of the TV and doing some random shit. I never understood. Then after a point, she became a thing of her own, and she's quotable. She's become quotable.
She
right?
is.
Yeah, so I'll definitely tell her, like I do every week.
Does creativity just run in the family or something?
Kind of, in the sense, like my mom was a little bit of an artist, but because, our parents were at a time where they couldn't afford to be artists and all.
Okay.
They had to have like a main job, and then if something works out, I'm glad a lot of parents are like now starting to pursue something after retirement and all that. My mom still has to get back to that, but yeah, I think me and my sister, hopefully, like I think the first of our first content creators. Yeah.
Wow.
I think.
I love Deepti so much. Everybody who knows Deepti knows that Deepti is so funny. Like Deepti needs to come back on Reels and make.
What do you mean come back?
Like she hasn't been posting consistently. Like we need to see more of her.
Yeah. So she's moved abroad.
Oh, okay.
And so they're trying to figure their life out and everything. She'll get back. But that is one thing that even I keep telling her. I don't keep telling her because now they have to make that work somehow. But I always feel like, why did you leave? In the sense, like there are so many opportunities here. You're doing something that other people are not doing, and it is so weird and so different what she does, right?
Yeah.
Weird in a very good way.
Like only Deepti can do it.
Yeah, only she. There's no other one and only piece.
Oh my God, it's so funny.
And I'm not saying this because she's my sister. Because when I'm looking at that, sometimes I'm like, oh shit, this isn't my sister or some other person.
Like I was actually shocked, like when I found out that she was your sister. I just randomly thought like, oh, maybe these two like share like a surname or something. Yeah. And like, wow, it was like, no way, And then I saw like the similarity, and I was just like,
What similarity?
Like
I don't think we're similar.
You guys look very similar.
Look, okay.
Yeah, you guys look very similar. So like, and then I was just like, how did I not see it earlier?
Basically, she does this few videos where she puts on that beard filter, right?
Yeah.
That day, my DMs will be like, the comments and notifications will be like really up. Like,
Oh my god, but yeah. I think that, with the way that you talk about Fully Filmy, it's like, I have certain goals that are always like an ever moving goalpost. It like never stops. Like it keeps moving. The more and more I think it comes closer, it's like always further away from me. But like the way you speak about Fully Filmy also sort of feels like that to me. That like, you still think that there's so much yet left to do. There's like so much like unfinished, like untapped potential in it. And I also personally think that it is one of the biggest like merchandise brands in Chennai. And like talking to you and like honestly seeing how much you like YouTube and like cinema and all of these things, it's like it was nice to like talk to you actually about stuff.
Likewise, man. Because the thing is, especially when it comes to entrepreneurship, right? And this is also another mistake that I made, that I really relate to what you said, that I create content, I talk a lot on my podcast, but I don't talk much otherwise. That is literally me.
Yeah.
Right? I think I should have done a lot more of that initially, because already entrepreneurship, content creation is a very, very lonely place. Most of the people around you don't understand what you're doing. It takes so much time to first explain what you're doing, and then they'll be like, okay, ido pandra. But at the same time, everyone else also has that deep desire within that, what if I started one business? What if I started content creation? And if someone started like please either don't or like really, really think hard about it, right? But I don't know where we started from.
No. I was just talking about the ever moving goalpost. Like there's so much potential for Fully Filmy. And I guess like I didn't really, with this podcast, I'm like not even sure what the direction of it was. It was just like a wholesome conversation with like how like YouTube has like turned out for the both of us, and how like Fully Filmy has like sort of sustained over the years. And honestly, it's like you said, it's a legacy brand right now. Like people know Fully Filmy,
I'm very, very thankful. I'm grateful about that and all. But at the same time, that guilt is always there, that when it was time to do a few things that we didn't take enough action, now we're kind of, and everything that's come our way, right? I don't know what we did. Like for the few years that we put out content and the brand that we created, all of our investors like in the brand are fans of the brand. We don't have VCs on our board. We don't have these institutional investors and all on our board. But all of these guys are some people who really like the content or the merch and somehow decided to invest. So in some way, like I'm just grateful for that, but I feel, there's a lot to pay back. There's a lot more to do for myself also, and for people who really believe in it.
I think that like with entrepreneurship, it's like very hard to like I said, it's an ever moving goalpost. The more and more you like get to a certain level, you're just like, okay, what's more and what's more and what's more. So there's like no end to it. It's like chores. It's like household work, the way like the laundry falls and like the dishes fall, like it keeps happening. And like you think that you've done like firefighting something, and then something else comes up, and then like that, once you're done with that, you turn around and there's like something more. So it's just something that requires you to be present at so many places at one time. And I think that, you have honestly inspired so many people like to start their own businesses, because it has been that I have seen it within other people talking about Fully Filmy as like, I could probably do something like this. I don't know if they were successful at it, but I've seen people like talk about it and actually like fondly talk about it. One fun fact about my schooling is that we didn't have uniforms.
Oh,
yeah.
Which school was it? Okay.
This is like
maybe you don't want to reveal.
No, it's like this Montessori school, and we didn't have uniforms. Chennai, yeah. And everyone wore Fully Filmy.
What age was this?
Yeah, this was like in 10th
Kids
grade.
T-shirts and all of that.
10th grade. Like everybody would wear mood.
Damn.
Yeah. And then like our teachers would be like, what does this mean? And I'd be like, ma'am, it just means mood. Like mood. So like I've seen Fully Filmy for a long time, and I've seen like I am a big fan of Kishan Das. I think everybody knows, and like I have known him since rupees 120. And then when I saw him on Fully Filmy, like he was someone I always wanted to be. Someone I had this blog about cinema at one point. Like I never even
even you knew blogs.
Yeah, I used to write in blog posts. Nobody find it, please.
We'll find it.
So, I think that in many ways, like, it's like a butterfly effect, you know? Like, a lot of things just influence the way you think. And it could be like a very small thing. And I feel like you have been that knowingly or unknowingly.
Yeah, totally unknowingly.
Yeah.
And yeah, these, like what you said, right? I get these mails and the people and all said that I started this because of this, not. That is not why I started. I really started because someone else actually inspired me in some way. Like the other brands or other content creators, filmmakers will be like, you know, do something.
Yeah.
That's how I started. I'm just happy that I'm somewhere like a small spark, like a speck in your journey. I'm like happy about that. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that a lot of people like talk about you also very fondly. So it was very nice to like talk to you. And I don't say all of these things like lightly. Like every time someone comes, like everyone's like, "Nee, ellarume dhaan compliment panna poreenga," appdinu. But genuinely, like I have seen Fully Filmy grow. All of us have in one way or another. And it was very nice to actually talk to you and actually get to know that it wasn't all rosy behind the pictures. You know, behind the screen, it wasn't all rosy and it didn't like always look great. But regardless, you have spent 9 years building this and it's been fantastic to see it. And more of content creator, Raunaq, please.
Thank you. And
like,
you
don't
also.
ever stop. Like
you don't stop. I know you're not going to stop. And have you already told people or? Okay, fine. But yeah, I hope you start creating a lot more new things beyond content. I'll just place it like that.
Yeah. So thank you so much. I don't know if this like episode was like, you know, properly directioned or anything like that, but hopefully if you can take like one small thing from it, I'll always be happy when someone takes like just a little thing from it. So I hope this episode was just that small thing that you could take. There was something there. But yeah, that's it for this episode. Thank you, Raunaq. Thank you so much for coming.
Thank you.
And yeah, that's it for this video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.